our dough is made up of about 3 cups of flour, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of oil. You just mix it all together, and then you knead it for about 10 minutes, put it in a bowl for about a half hour to rise, and then you've got this. So you're going to want to take out, just cut off a piece of it. It's going to be pretty sticky, but you want to cover it again really quick. Add some flour to your surface, and then take your hands. This will save you a lot of rolling time. Beat it down a little bit, flip it, again, again. There's no science to it, just do whatever you want. And you're gonna really roll this out and push down on it because you want it super thin. I'm just doing a little piece to show you. You can do this much bigger. When it wrinkles, just flip it over. Even though that's thin, it's not thin enough. So I'm just stretching it out. You almost want to see through it. Not quite, because then it won't boil right, but you almost want to see through it. It feels like it's getting a little sticky. Even though that's thin, it's not thin enough yet. Just add a little more flour. Do that the same on each side, and it should be thin enough right after I get this part done. You get a crease, it's not the worst thing. It's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing. So you make sure that it's like this. And then what you're going to do is get your squares ready. It's close enough. And you don't even have to square it up, to be honest with you. Gonna cut. There's no science to it. There's no perfect way. Doesn't really matter. So that's the first part too, is to getting your squares ready. And if you've got a lot ready, then what you can do is put them under a damp cloth so that way they don't get dried out. If they get a little too dried out, you could take a little bit of water on your fingers so that you can seal this up once we put our mixture in. So next is the fill-in. We baked down the squash earlier. At the end you're going to see pictures to show you a series on how to do that, although there is another video for that. But at the end we'll show you. So we've got the squash, that's cooked down, and then pumpkin. When I said that we live 90% package process free, well, pumpkin, I just didn't have time to do it, so I did buy a can of pumpkin. And then what we have here is the spices that go into it, which are, you're going to use your garlic press, chopped onion, cinnamon, black pepper, ginger, and this is parsley that I dried out. So you're going to take all of that stuff and a little bit of salt if you want it, and you're going to put them onto these squares that you just made. Now if the squares aren't moist enough, you can moisten your fingers a little bit. It's just really that easy. Okay, first I have to get water on my hands. Sorry about that. And you just literally go like this and push it down. Don't worry if some comes out. It doesn't really matter. So this is a ravioli dough that you just made. And there's no exact science to it. You just do whatever it is you want to do. It doesn't really matter. If I had covered these with a slightly damp cloth, then I wouldn't have to do this with my fingers into the water. But I got busy and forgot. that. So then we're gonna do, I don't have a fancy pasta roller, so this is the lid of something. So all you're gonna do is seal it off. Literally, just like that. Just doesn't matter. So what you're gonna get is a ravioli. Doesn't matter if it squirts out a little bit. So this is just an end of a lid. Just making little marks. Just go around. And you can hear that I get my hands right into the water. Again, I wouldn't have had to do this if I had covered it. You see that some squirts out, doesn't matter. It's gonna cook off anyway. And kind of push down a little bit when you do that. You want to seal it if you can. And you can hear probably that I have water boiling already. So next we're going to just drop them into the water. A big pot of boiling water. And we'll see how they come out. And what's going to happen is we're just literally just going to drop them right down in. And then when they start to float to the surface, they're done. You don't put too many at a time. I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8. Depends on how tall your pot is. And what's going to happen is you're going to want to keep stirring and you just want the ravioli to move around a little bit. You don't want to take it out too soon. And I've got it up on high. Just every few minutes. So like for 3 or 4 minutes, we're going to boil the ravioli until it floats to the very top. Okay, so what we did was we pulled it out of the boiling water. This is what it looks like. And I just added some of the squash and the pumpkin puree. I didn't add anything else to it. This is a homemade cinnamon bread I made earlier. It's just got a little bit of oil and parsley on there. And let's find out if it's any good. It's the first time I've ever made it. I found it online and I adapted it to be vegan. Oh, it's really good. So, if you need any help with it, just email me or comment down below. Like, share, subscribe, and have a great day. So now with the wonton wrap. This is vegetarian because there is going to be some cheese. So this is not for the vegans, but this is a simpler way for you to go ahead and make the ravioli if you don't dare make the dough yourself. So you just take a large square wonton. My dog is licking my pant leg because I apparently wiped my hands on my pants. Sadie, stop. So you've got your wontons. You're gonna wanna wet them down a little bit. Sadie, I'm not being mean to you, be sweetie. And so you have your mixture. It's the same mixture from the other one. And dollop it in. So this really is a time saver if you want to do it this way. And I actually just did it wrong. I wasn't paying attention. Add a little bit of cheese. Put it down like over it, just like that, and just pat it down. Doesn't matter if it comes out, just the same as the last one. And pat it down. The dog is losing her mind. So pat it down. Take this fancy gadget and go around it. Now, if you have a pasta roller, that's of course great. So you go around to all 4 sides. I don't happen to have one. And the thing about the Lazy Ass Vegan is we're trying to show that anybody can eat healthy, whether they have fancy tools or not fancy tools, that you can find a way to do it. So you just roll it out, and you're just going to pick it up and you're going to drop it in the same way, and when it floats to the top, pull it out and serve.